Hi there. Welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma, and today we're meeting in the medicine garden, and we're going to do a little tour of just the medicine garden. So for the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to divide all of our garden tours, our home garden tours, up by rooms because there's so much going on and I don't want to overwhelm anyone, and nobody has time for a 3-hour garden tour. So I'm just gonna go through the medicine garden. We're gonna talk about what's in bloom, what's getting ready to be harvested, what's coming up, and all that kind of fun stuff. So we're gonna just turn the camera around and take a look and see what's going on down here. All right, so this is the general area we're going to be in, but we're gonna start kind of over a little bit just to give you an overview of the entire garden, and just in case we miss the gorgeous Shasta or the daisy display, we have Shasta daisies going over here, but all of this is just like regular daisies, which is super fun and cheerful, and I just wanted to make sure you got to see those. All right, so here we go. To walk into the medicine garden, we have our tower of walking Egyptian onions. We did this project together, and I had all of these onions in this second tier there, and I wanted to remove them from those beds, but I didn't want to lose them entirely, so I planted them in these stackable planter things. Well, they weren't super successful. You could see the lower ones, just like this is a weed. These got really weak. They're not doing great in this environment, but the ones on top are full of seed heads. So I was thinking maybe I could convince them to like walk down, but I don't know if that's going to work, and they may have to end up someplace else. Just gonna look at them from this side. Yeah, so that's a weed. And I haven't done any harvesting. This is what they're doing. Just kind of growing strangely, I guess. So that's the update on that. I wouldn't recommend this system if you want like a really good harvest. You could see they immediately just, like the small leaves all died back, and they're producing their seed, which is fine. Anyway, all right, so next to that we have a hosta, which we don't eat our hostas, but we could. The slugs are eating our hostas, which is lovely. We have not tried the hosta spears yet, but I'm determined to remember to do it next spring. Apparently they're like asparagus, the spears of the hosta, new growth of hostas. Anyway, moving down this direction, we have a few things. We have a white foxglove that's going to seed, which I'm waiting for the seeds to develop so we can put them in a different part of the garden. We have a purple foxglove. We have a holly fern. All this ground cover is the chocolate ajaga. We just removed a pot from here, so kind of an empty space. We have Brunnera that I want to move somewhere else, and then we have this beautiful St. John's wort, which is finally coming into size. It took it a minute, but she's flowering and creating her little berries, and I'm really happy with it. It looks beautiful there. We also have some lavenders in pots that are not doing great right here. Everything's in shade right now just because it's early in the morning. So this is full sun, but the sun isn't as strong this direction coming from the raised beds over. It starts getting shady. So the lavender I want to move up, see where that sun line is, where it's like starts right away early in the morning sunshine. I want to get those guys up there. Over on this side, we have a weeping beech, which is gorgeous. I think it's been in the ground. This is its 3rd summer, I believe. Looking really beautiful. And I was thinking that we had like a bird poo situation going on here, but I just saw a western tiger swallowtail in the garden yesterday, and I was reading that sometimes it looks like bird droppings, their larvae or their whatever they do, and then this absolutely looks like a little chrysalis. Look at that. Isn't that exciting? And I was reading that birch trees are one of the trees that they like to lay their eggs on. So, yay. All right. We've got geranium here. This is a hardy geranium in not quite full bloom. It's just starting to fade. In this pot, I've got clematis and foxglove. The clematis is climbing but not blooming just yet. Our bronze fennel that we normally have right here did not come back this year, which is fine. We'll probably replant it next spring. In this greenstock tower, which this is a greenstock branded tower opposed to that tower, which is, you know, individual pots that can stack that I bought at the Dollar Tree. This one is, you know, put together very nicely, and it's got nice deep pockets. This is the one with the extra deep pockets. And then it has a water reservoir, which I will fill this morning. And then the water goes down into, like, it goes into each chamber and weeps out. These are Seascape strawberries that we planted last year. And the empty pockets are not because I'm missing strawberries, but because last year I think I had pansies and the empty pockets. Some sort of flower were in the empty pockets, but I didn't do that this year. And then we just spin it a quarter spin every day so that sunshine gets to every one of them. They need to be rinsed off. They've got some spider web going on, but you could see we're starting to get some berries, which is exciting, and lots of flowers and berry potential there. All right, this is just like our catch-all, and then I'm gonna start on this side and work our way around. So in this bottom tier, and this hillside faces north. So it faces south. I'm sorry. It's the ocean is this way, it's west, and then this is south, but we have all these big evergreens. So the sun takes a minute to actually come from the south. So, but it does get full sun most of the day. This, like about a quarter way into the bed is part shade because it doesn't get sun until the afternoon when the sun is over on this side and getting ready to set. So this side stays a little bit more protected than the rest of the bed. All right. So starting here in our cute little annual pots, we've got a couple of petunias. I don't know what varieties they are. They're just like fun and beautiful. And a mulberry nemesia, which I just planted. So it's still kind of small. But I think it reflects this color really beautifully. Right behind that we have a large comfrey that's doing great in the shade, which I'm really excited about because we've had them over here, and they just get enormous and flower all summer long, and it's hard to keep up with. You don't need that much comfrey medicinally, so this is perfect. And if it wants to get a little bit big there, it won't be in the way. All right, bed by bed, we're going to go through it. So in this lower raised garden bed, I have marigolds. this frilly leaf, and it's just starting to like break open. And then we have a shorter variety in the back of marigolds. In the front, I have a few calendula. This one is a really nice, beautiful, bright yellow. This one is, I think this is Pink Surprise. It has like this mauvey pink color, and another orange one. We have nasturtiums that self-seeded themselves here from when I had them planted, and I have nasturtiums planted again in these baskets, but 5 years ago I had them planted in those baskets, and they dropped here, and they've been just coming back and self-seeding themselves every year. We love them. They're beautiful and fun to have, so we just let them do their thing. And then, let's see, calendula. And then we have some zinnias dotted through here. So we've got this cute little pink one and a yellow one. Looks like that one might be pink. This one's like a dark rose pink. These zinnias might be the best looking foliage I have in this garden for sure. There's a yellow one over here, like a dark orange yellow one. It's pretty. And there's another one coming up right here. Beautiful. There's a small one right there. So, yeah, calendula, marigolds, zinnias, nasturtiums. And then this tall beauty is Marshmallow. And she has gotten quite large this year, which is so fun. She was in a pot last year, and we transplanted her into this space in the fall, cut her back, and let her go. And she's doing great. There's some sort of a buggy right there. I don't know what it is. And it's something eating this one leaf, another leaf. These leaves are so soft. Oh, I love them. They do get a little pink flower on them, but the medicinal use is, I believe, with the leaf, but mostly the root. So we're waiting for it to get nice and big and bulky before we dig up any pieces of the root. Moving into the next section, this is kind of our walkway here, and I need to add like a step because this is a really big step, and maybe a couple of pavers this direction. But right here, the ground cover is Corsican mint, which is steppable and it smells delicious. And we have a couple of herbs over here. So we have some thyme. This is a sedum. This is a chocolate mint. And then we can kind of jump up to the next level here. This is a mountain mint, which is so fun. It's so fine textured compared to the spearmint. This is what you normally would see. And this is spearmint. And then we have a little container of the Corsican mint, which I'm just taking little bits of it and putting it in between the pathways, because I would love this to just all be like a little mint pathway. And then this is the second raised bed on the tier, and we have chamomile, which I really need to come out and harvest and cut back because it's gotten leggy and crazy. And then we have, this is some sort of a thyme, I believe. Oh, this is Corsican mint too. All the Corsican mint. Well, that makes sense. I probably just did it together. This was just like a random thrift store find. Isn't it so cute, this little snail? All right. What is this? But this is Verbena viberinosus, and it's just now coming into bloom. And we had it all over the garden 2 years ago, and now it's just kind of in this little space. So hopefully we can encourage it to seed a little bit more. I might throw some more seeds out later. Okay, chamomile, you're suffocating my purple sage. And I see a slug culprit. And what is this anyways? That's not sage. I don't even know what this is. It looks like a dahlia, for crying out loud. I think it's supposed to be here. I'm just gonna take this out along with the slug and discard it in a little bit. Just do that. Okay. Moving on. So we've got the verbena. We have I can never remember if this is the garlic or the onion. Let's see. Oh, mint is overpowering my senses. Okay. This is the onion. So these are onion chives here, and they just got done blooming. I need to come in and clean it up. I did make one oil with no, I used the garlic chives. I didn't do onion chives. I use these like green onions, and I like to make an oil blend with the chives. And sometimes I add it to pesto when I make pesto. Anyway, and then this is a yarrow, and there's a weed in the middle of it. Grr. This is a white yarrow. All right, then jumping up to the third tier. Let me get up here a little bit closer. A little bit of a bird's eye view of the yarrow. We've got a bunch of calendula. We have 2 or 3 varieties of echinacea and more of this weed. Not the weed. Okay. A couple of varieties of echinacea, a whole hedge of the calendula, which is so fun, and these are looking gorgeous. And then we have garlic chives here, and you can see they don't have as many flower heads because I harvested a bunch of them. This is just a leaf, not a slug. That's good. All right, and then in these pots, this is lemongrass and then lemon balm. Had a basil in it, but it, that's an annual and I haven't replaced it. Again with the calendula, just a beautiful hedge of calendula. And then on the 4th tier, we have a whole mix of Madam Butterfly snapdragons. This is the bright white variety. And then we have this beautiful dark magenta. These ones are a little bit more full. And then tucked in here, we also have some calendula coming up right here. And then, look, we have blueberries ready to be snacked upon, which is so exciting. They're delicious. Okay. Calendula, snapdragons. I don't remember what variety this blueberry is. I'd have to look it up. And then we have another thing of chocolate mint. And I'm noticing both my chocolate mints have a little bit of powdery mildew, so I'm going to be addressing that. And then this one is a mojito mint here. And then this is another thyme, and this is a pineapple mint. And just moving up a little ways more. I keep seeing these little leaves and I keep thinking they're slugs. Okay. Moving up into the 4th tier. So we've got the snapdragons and the blueberries and another chocolate mint. And then we have just a whole bunch of snapdragons that I kind of put on the hillside. You could see it's sloped down. And so we just have what was called a tall mix and a black prince snapdragon. And so far only the pinks have come up, so I'm waiting to see what other colors we have. On the top of this last tier, we have orange crocosmia, which is just starting to show a little bit of color, a purple smoke bush, and a rhubarb, and then this beautiful eucalyptus tree. I'm gonna turn around, and this is my huge giant rosemary. Let's walk backwards here. You can see how large this rosemary is. It's 5 foot by 5 foot. It's enormous. And I think we'll just go back downstairs and walk up this side. You can see this step is quite extensive. All right. Okay, so this bed faces east. So it starts getting sun in the afternoon once the sun clears this big tree, and it gets a good 6 hours of sun or so. So starting with this lower bed, we have more calendula, just a bunch of different beautiful colors. There's a buttery yellow, a light pink, a soft orange. This one's really pretty with a, oh, it's really pretty. I like it. A big clump of artemisia, and then we've got some feverfew in here. Just 2 of them, but I had 3. Just 2 of them. And some more calendula here, some calendula tucked in back there. We have a whole bunch of sedum. It looks like the lemon coral that everybody talks about, but it's not. It's just a generic sedum, which I love. It spreads easily and it's maintains itself pretty good. Almost nothing gets through it except for this horsetail. All right, then we have a mullein, which I'm so thrilled to have in my garden because I keep buying pink mullein instead of the medicinal mullein, and this is supposed to be like the real deal, and I compared it and I believe that's to be true. So this is mullein verbascum. It's a biennial. It looks like it might maybe push a bloom this year. I don't know. And then more calendula. Okay, and then in between the raised beds, we have like this V happening. And this used to be a really beautiful succulent waterfall that was very hard to maintain because of its location and its shape and the accessibility to it. So now it's completely overrun by horsetail, grass, and morning glory. And probably a little bit of a jugga, definitely some buttercup, and who knows what else. This whole hillside used to only be vinca and crocosmia. So last year, actually, this whole V, this little pizza slice, actually went all the way over to here. So last year, I reclaimed this area and potted up all of my mints, and all of my mint are on cement blocks like this, so that if anything tries to escape, any roots try to come out the bottom, I can cut them off right away and they don't escape into the garden, because mint is extremely aggressive. And I don't need that much mint. Even though I have multiple containers of them, I don't want it to take over my whole yard. So one of my goals this summer is to rip all this out and start over. I loved the succulent waterfall. It just needs to be easier to maintain, and I need to put things in place so that I can access it easier with more stability and safer, so that we can grab those weeds before they take over. Anyway, moving back into the beauty of the garden, or the not so beauty. Let's see what we see. In this second tier, we have some marigolds that have been decimated by slugs. This is what slugs do to my marigolds. And then I have a yellow yarrow, which these are last year's stocks, so they bloomed first, and then this year is coming on right now. And some more marigolds that this one's hanging on a little tiny bit better. This is some lovage that I need to clean up, and I've done one harvest on it, but now it's time to get these older leaves off so that the fresh leaves can grow. It tastes like celery, It's a beautiful foliage. I love the texture it provides in the garden. And then over here, I had golden oregano for years, and it was being taken over by morning glory and impossible to clean out and safely ingest. So I hadn't been utilizing the oregano for a while because of the morning glory. So I pulled all of that out. There's a couple little remnants right there. This bright chartreuse green leaves. That's golden oregano. Just came up from some roots or something. And so I thought I would just leave this empty for the year and just try to control the bindweed that's in here. Of course, clover immediately started growing because that's what their job is to do, is to remediate soil that is exposed. And so it definitely is trying to do its job. It's fine with me. I'll just till it under. But I didn't want to just leave it completely blank, so I thought I would put some annuals in here. And I had grown a whole bunch of zinnias, so I filled this with zinnias. I put a whole border of marigolds. They looked so cute when they were all in bloom, but they've all been removed now because of the slug damage. And these zinnias, they're getting eaten to pieces. So I'm really glad that I've got a few little blooms. I'm going to harvest those and remove the plants because they are not happy there. And I'll just let this be fallow for a year. That's a good thing to do in herbal gardens sometimes. Just leave it alone. All right, I'm going to go walk around and we'll talk about the very top tier from the upside of this garden. So this is the upper tier that comes off of our walkway. And, you know, we have this garden and a little walkway, and then we have this upper tier, which we've been changing a little bit here and there, but I'm getting more happy with it. It's not all the way how I want it yet, but it's close. So what we have here is we have a deciduous rhododendron that has the most beautiful and prolific lavender flowers that just glow. And then we have some purple loosestrife popping up here and there. It self-seeded itself. It so far has behaved pretty well in the garden. I know it can be highly invasive in some areas. I don't know if this is a variety that doesn't. I'm positive it came from a nursery pot from a nursery that I bought a plant in, but that's okay. All right. Then, okay, so we've got the hosta that we looked at from downstairs. Above that, we have lemon fizz lavender, which is not a true lavender, but it's so pretty. And it gets these little bright yellow, like little disc flowers, which I love. And then all the ground cover is a jugga, although there's a little bit of intermixing with self-heal, which we're not encouraging to grow in this garden. Oh, I get so distracted. Okay, self-heal. There's a little bit of geranium in here because we have geranium. This also included with the vinca and the crocosmia, there was a lot of geranium in here, which is still in here. It's fine. And we struggle with buttercup, but we try really hard to be on top of it. It's super hard because the leaves look really similar to the geranium. This is geranium. All right. So that being said, we have a lot of snapdragons in here. So I planted all these by seed, or we planted them by seed in the greenhouse, and then once they got like 4 inches, 6 inches tall, they got planted out here. And I just kind of put them in little drifts all through here. All the tall flowers or flower stalks that you see are all snapdragons. I don't know if we could see it a little better from this direction. I'm trying to leave like a little path right here, and I want to get a couple of stepping stones to get to this blueberry, and create a little path this way to get to that blueberry. We also have this pineapple sage. It gets like these amazing flowers that the hummingbirds absolutely love. And I cut it all the way down. You can see this is like the old wood. And then it flushes up. Like right now in the last week or so, it's been flushing up. And it will get every bit as tall as this, maybe taller, 4 to 4.5 feet tall. It's amazing. But it doesn't bloom until late September, early October. So I really needed something to kind of fill in the space. And I'm looking at it now. It's July. There's not a lot of color yet. Although maybe next year the snapdragons will be a little further along. Like those ones, the white and purple ones over there, got planted last fall. And these got planted in the spring. So I'm going to give it a minute, but I feel like there needs to be more color in this area. This is another variety of blueberry coming on quick. It's not quite ready to eat. And then this is another blueberry up here. And it's like leaning way over there. I'm going to need to create some support for it. We transplanted all of these blueberries out of pots last fall. So to see them ripe and, was it last fall or last spring? I feel like they were here last summer, but didn't get berries. I don't know. We've had them in pots for a few years, so they're like maybe 4 years old. And this is their first like full year for sure in the ground, maybe a little bit longer. All right, and then behind the blueberry, coming this way, we still have leftover vinca and geranium. We have a pot with some with some more snapdragons and a calla lily in it. And then this would be the succulent waterfall going down into the medicine garden, which was just like all succulents. It was so pretty. So I'm hoping to redo it because I really loved it. And then this will be the last medicinal area that we'll look at is this pot here. This is self-seeded borage, looking absolutely gorgeous. And then we have some snapdragons in the back of the pot here, which if I cut back a couple branches off of our rosemary, this will have a little bit more room to do its thing. And the borage is looking gorgeous right now, but it will soon be time to harvest. And then we'll be able to cut those down and the snapdragons can shine for the rest of the season. So I think that's all we're going to talk about for our medicinal garden. It's just looking really full and really fun right now. I know I kind of went plant by plant, and we usually only focus on things that are blooming or getting ready for harvest, but it's just like everything is just getting so big and bountiful. It's hard not to just look at every single thing and be excited about it. Oh my goodness. What a difference a year makes, because we did a lot of revamping in this garden last year to prepare for this year, and it's just looking so beautiful. And now I feel like there's just like 3 plants that I still want in the raised beds, and there's a couple of changes that I want to make in these little corner beds, and as well as like the walkway area and underneath the deck. So, and the things that I'm thinking about are like beautiful jewelry that we can add into the garden, an arbor, some trellises, some color, some fall interest, some early spring interest, maybe some water, and maybe an extra special project that I'm ruminating with. So, okay, I just had like a little pollinator try to pollinate my finger. So anyway, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a fun and peaceful little walk through the medicine garden with me. I am going to start recommitting to starting a plant profile every month to really focus on one specific plant, usually an herb or flower that is medicinal, has folklore. You can dry it or do some sort of fun plant craft with it. We'll do flower arrangements, you know, just like really use one specific plant all month long and really deep dive into it. So if you want access to those plant profiles, you're going to want to not only subscribe to our channel, but become a member. And to become a member, you just hit that little join button next to the subscribe button on the channel. And there is 5 options of what kind of a member you want to be. The lowest tier member really just gets these videos as soon as they get uploaded. Sometimes that means I batch load a video or multiple videos, which means you can binge watch and like get it over for the week. But usually I load my videos right around 10 to 11 o'clock at night, and then they don't post until 5 o'clock the next morning. So you have access to those if you wanted. That's the lowest tier, and everybody gets that. The next tier up is just a little bit more personable, some private reels, some polls to help, you know, be a part of the channel and some of the choices that we make. And then it goes up from there. You could do plant profiles. You can, the plant profiles is one. Another one is like sacred spaces, and creating sacred spaces in the garden and visiting sacred spaces around the world. And then the 5th level is the upper tier level, which is $14.99 a month, which is hardly anything, but it you have access to my daily vlog of training as a priestess and what I'm doing and what that means, and all that kind of fun stuff. So the plant profiles mirror all of everything that we do in this garden. We're growing them, we're using them in crafts, we're using them spiritually, we're eating them, we're you know, communing with them on a spiritual and mental level. We're using them in our body, all the fun things. And this medicine garden plays a really key part of all of those membership opportunities that we have on our channel. All right, and always, we just super appreciate just the free subscribers that you're here, you're showing up, you're being a part of our lives, and we love being a part of yours, and we're so appreciative of every one of you who have subscribed to this channel. Please keep liking, keep commenting, and keep being inspired, and keep inspiring us. And please go celebrate your life today. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.